In July 2026, the CEO of Microsoft published an essay that should make every company using AI a little uncomfortable. Not because AI is dangerous, because of who is really paying whom. Satya Nadella's claim: you pay for intelligence twice, once with money, and once with something even more valuable, the proprietary knowledge you have to reveal just to make the AI useful. He calls it the reverse information paradox, and it flips a 64-year-old idea from economics on its head. In the next few minutes, the original paradox, the flip, what your company is actually leaking, and the one thing Nadella says will decide who wins the age of AI. Start with the original paradox. 1962. The economist Kenneth Arrow, who would go on to win a Nobel Prize, wrote down a strange problem with selling information. Say you have a valuable secret, a formula, a process, a piece of research, and I want to buy it. I ask the obvious question, how do I know it's worth the price? So you show me, and the moment you show me, I no longer need to buy it. In Arrow's own words, its value for the purchaser is not known until he has the information, but then he has in effect acquired it without cost. For over 60 years, that was the seller's problem. It is a big part of why patents, NDAs, and trade secrets exist at all. Now watch what AI does to that picture. A frontier model is like the most capable employee you will ever hire, who knows everything about the world and almost nothing about your business. Out of the box, it writes generic emails and generic code. To make it genuinely useful, you have to feed it your context, your documents, your codebase, your customer conversations, the way your team actually makes decisions. As Nadella puts it, the better you want the model to perform, the more of that knowledge you have to feed it. And there is the flip. In Arrow's world, the seller of information was the exposed one. In the AI world, it is the buyer. You pay with money, and then you pay again with knowledge. So what exactly leaks? Nadella gives it a name: intelligence exhaust. 4 channels stand out. 1. Prompts. Every question your team asks reveals what you were working on months before any launch. 2. Corrections. Every time an expert fixes the model's answer, that is your hardest-won judgment distilled. 3. Evals. The tests you build to check the model's quality. Those encode your definition of excellence, your standards, your edge. 4. Workflow traces. The step-by-step record of how your agents and your people actually get work done. Put it together, and it is like hiring a consultant who bills you by the hour, while writing everything they learn about your business into a notebook. And when they leave, the notebook leaves with them. If that sounds abstract, here is the crude version, and it really happened. Early 2023. Samsung, a company famously protective of its chip secrets, lifted its internal ban and let engineers use ChatGPT for work. Within 20 days, 3 separate leaks. One engineer pasted proprietary semiconductor source code into the chat to fix a bug. Another pasted code from their chip testing systems. A third uploaded a transcript of an internal meeting to get clean notes. Samsung's response was drastic: ban the tools on every company device and start building AI in-house. That was the obvious, accidental version of the problem. Nadella is pointing at something much subtler and much harder to ban. Because here is where you should be objecting. If you know how enterprise AI actually works, you might be shouting at the screen right now, the AI companies promise not to train on your data, and mostly, that is true. As of mid-2026, by default, OpenAI does not train models on data from its business products or its API. Anthropic's commercial and API traffic is excluded from training too. Those promises are real, they are in the contracts, and companies rely on them. So is Nadella just wrong? No. And this is where his essay gets genuinely interesting, because the real league is not your bytes ending up in a training run. The real mechanism is the learning loop. Think about everything your company builds to make AI actually work. The prompt libraries, the carefully tuned instructions, the eval suites, the thousands of corrections. The agent workflows that encode how your business runs. So much of it is tuned to one vendor system inside a product you rent. Your organization gets better and better at using their system, and the compounding happens on their side of the fence. Learning flows in one direction. And when learning flows in one direction, economic value slowly pools on the side that owns the learning infrastructure. Try to switch vendors, and you discover the trap. The model was rented, and much of your own progress turns out to be rented too. Nadella's line for it: in consuming intelligence, you are creating intelligence, and what you create should belong to you. His prescription is 5 words that all start with C control. Own your enterprise memory, your evals, your feedback, your institutional context, keep them portable. The second C is capability. Build private environments where models can be tuned on your knowledge without that knowledge leaving your walls. Choice: never depend on a single model. Keep your orchestration decoupled so models are swappable parts. Cost: with real tests of your own, you can pick the cheapest model that passes instead of the most famous one. And the 5th C is the whole point: compound. Wire the first 4 together into a loop so that every prompt, every correction, every eval makes your company smarter permanently on your side of the fence. One more thing, and this channel owes you honesty. Look at who is talking. Nadella runs one of the biggest clouds in the world, and Microsoft holds a huge stake in OpenAI. When the essay says keep your learning loop inside a trusted boundary, notice that a trusted boundary is exactly what Microsoft sells. That does not make him wrong. Arrow's paradox was real economics, and the reversal is real too. But it is a useful habit for the AI age. When someone describes a problem, always check whether they also happen to sell the solution. So what should you actually take from this? One idea. When almost any company can rent the same models, the model is not the moat. Your moat is the private learning loop. Your evals, your corrections, your accumulated memory of what good looks like in your business. That is true if you run a bank, and it is true if you are a 3-person startup. Your daily use of AI is quietly producing an asset. The only question the reverse information paradox asks is, who is collecting it, you or your vendor? If this changed how you think about the AI tools you use every day, that is the goal of this channel. The mechanisms behind the headlines, explained simply. Subscribe so the next one finds you. And if you want to go deeper, our complete free AI course from the basics to advanced is linked below. See you in the next one.